My friend Parry is invisible to everyone else. It's getting scary. The lukewarm coffee did little to cut through the fog in my brain. Another Tuesday. Another mountain of spreadsheets waiting for me at the office. The only thing keeping me remotely sane these days was Parry. You gonna drink that or just stare at it longingly? Parry was leaning against my kitchen counter, a smirk playing on his lips. I sighed. Just dreading another day, you know? Tell me about it. I'd rather be anywhere than stuck watching you input numbers all day. We'd been friends since kindergarten, practically brothers. We knew each other's quirks, our hopes, our fears. We'd always been there for each other through thick and thin. So when Parry started fading, I figured it was some kind of elaborate prank. It started subtly. A waitress at O'Malley's, our usual dive, completely ignored him when he tried to order a beer. We laughed it off at the time, chalking it up to a busy night. But then it happened again. And again. People would walk right through him on the street, not even registering his presence. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. Nobody else could see him. You still haven't finished packing that box? I asked, gesturing to a half-filled cardboard box in the corner of my living room. Moving days Friday, remember? Parry grimaced. Yeah, just haven't been feeling up to it. Weird, right? He ran a hand through his already disheveled hair. It's like I'm not really here. The first few days were almost comical. We'd mess with people, Parry walking through them in crowded spaces, grabbing things off shelves in stores just to watch the confusion on people's faces. But the novelty quickly wore off. The confusion turned to fear. At work, it was a nightmare. I'd be talking to Parry, making jokes, and my colleagues would stare at me like I'd sprouted a second head. Whispers started. Liam's talking to himself again. He's been acting strange lately. My boss, Mr. Henderson, even pulled me aside for a private chat about my performance and well-being. Are you under any undue stress, Liam? He asked, his voice dripping with false concern. Anything personal affecting your work? I wanted to tell him everything to explain about Parry, but the words caught in my throat. How could I explain something so utterly inexplicable? He'd think I was insane. No, sir, I mumbled, just a little tired. That night I found myself sitting in Dr. Albright's sterile office trying to explain my situation without sounding completely unhinged. So you're saying your friend Parry is experiencing social anxiety, she asked, her pen hovering over her notepad. No, it's not anxiety. It's like he's invisible. Nobody else can see him. Dr. Albright paused, her expression unreadable. Liam, are you sure you're not experiencing any hallucinations? Or perhaps heightened anxiety manifesting in a unique way? I clenched my fists. I know what I'm seeing, Dr. Albright. I'm not crazy. She sighed, a sound that suggested she'd heard that particular phrase many times before. Okay, Liam, let's explore these feelings further. Tell me more about your relationship with Parry. The sessions continued, but I felt like I was getting nowhere. Dr. Albright was convinced I was projecting my own anxieties onto an imaginary friend. I started to limit what I told her. I was afraid she'd have me committed. Meanwhile, Parry was changing. He became more demanding, more secretive. He'd pressure me to skip work, to stay home and just hang out. He'd get angry when I talked to other people, accusing me of neglecting him. They can't even see me. Liam, why are you wasting your time with them? His mood swung wildly, from playful and jovial to dark and brooding. Sometimes I'd catch him staring at me with an intensity that made my skin crawl. One afternoon we were walking through the park when a little girl, no older than 4, wandered away from her mother. She was crying, lost and confused. Hey, Parry said, kneeling down to her level. What's wrong, sweetie? The girl looked up at him, her eyes wide. I can't find my mommy. Parry smiled reassuringly. Don't worry, we'll find her. What does she look like? I stood there, dumbfounded. The mother was frantically searching nearby, calling out her daughter's name. She walked right past Parry and the little girl, completely oblivious. This wasn't just some psychological anomaly. This was something else entirely. Something wrong. Parry led the girl back to her mother, who burst into tears of relief. She thanked me profusely, completely unaware that Parry had been the one who found her daughter. That night, I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned, my mind racing. I had to figure out what was happening. I started scouring the internet, searching for answers. I delved into articles about Cotard syndrome, a rare mental disorder where people believe they are dead. I explored theories about interdimensional beings and alternate realities. I even ventured into the murky world of the paranormal, reading about ghosts and spirits and unexplained phenomena. It was during one of these late-night research sessions that I stumbled upon something that sent a shiver down my spine. A missing person report. A young man disappeared without a trace. The picture attached to the report, it was Parry, or at least someone who looked exactly like him. The report stated he'd gone missing a few weeks ago, around the same time Parry had started to fade. I stared at the picture, my heart pounding in my chest. Could it be? Was Parry dead? Was he some kind of ghost? I had to confront him. Parry, I said, my voice trembling, there's something I need to ask you. He was sitting on my couch, staring blankly at the TV. He didn't even turn around. What is it, Liam? I held up the missing person report. Who is this? He finally turned, his eyes narrowing. He looked at the picture, a flicker of something unreadable crossing his face. I don't know what you're talking about, he said, his voice tight. Don't lie to me, Parry. This is you. This is the guy who's missing. He stood up, his fists clenched. That's not me, Liam. You're being ridiculous. Then who are you, Parry? What are you? His face contorted in anger. What does it matter? I'm your friend, Liam. I'm the only one who's ever been there for you. But you're not real, are you? Not anymore, are you? He lunged at me, his hands reaching for my throat. I'm as real as you are, Liam maybe even more, so I wrestled him off me, struggling to breathe. Even though nobody else could see him, his grip was real. His strength was real. You're hurting me, Parry. Stop it. I'm doing this for you. Liam, they're trying to take you away from me. They don't understand us. I managed to shove him away, stumbling backwards. I grabbed a heavy lamp from the table and held it up defensively. Stay away from me, Parry. I don't know who you are anymore, he laughed, a chilling, hollow sound that echoed through the apartment. You don't know who you are anymore, Liam. You've forgotten, but I haven't. I remember everything. He started to advance towards me again, his eyes burning with a terrifying intensity. Remember the lake, Liam? Remember what happened at the lake? The words hit me like a physical blow. The lake, it had been years ago. We were kids. Something terrible happened, something we never talked about, something I tried to forget. A wave of nausea washed over me. Images flashed through my mind, the dark water, the screaming, the accident. No, I whispered. I don't remember. I don't want to remember. You have to remember, Liam. You have to face the truth. He lunged again, and this time I didn't resist. I let him tackle me to the ground, the lamp clattering to the floor. He straddled me, pinning me down, his hands tightening around my throat. Remember, Liam, remember, I gasped for air, my vision blurring. I could feel myself slipping away, succumbing to the darkness. Suddenly, the door burst open and 2 police officers rushed in, guns drawn. Police freeze, they stared at me, their faces a mixture of confusion and concern. I was lying on the floor, thrashing wildly, yelling at empty space. The apartment was a mess, furniture overturned. Broken glass scattered everywhere. He's delusional, one of the officers said. Looks like a full-blown psychotic episode. They pulled me off the floor and handcuffed me, ignoring my frantic pleas to believe me to see Parry. At the station, I tried to explain everything, but it was no use. They thought I was insane. They showed me the missing person report again, asking if I knew anything about Parry's disappearance. I told them everything about the invisibility, about the park, about the lake. They just shook their heads, their expressions a mixture of pity and disgust. Dr. Albright arrived later, her face etched with worry. She spoke to the officers, trying to convince them that I needed help, not prison. He's been under a lot of stress lately, she explained. He's experiencing a severe mental breakdown. Eventually, they agreed to release me into her care, but they warned me that I was still a person of interest in the missing person case. Back in my apartment, everything was a mess. The police had searched the place, leaving behind a trail of overturned furniture and rifled through drawers. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the floor, my mind numb. Was it all in my head? Was Parry just a figment of my imagination, a manifestation of my own guilt and trauma? I didn't know what to believe anymore. A few days later, I was walking down the street when I saw her. The elderly woman from the park, the one who claimed to see ghosts. She was standing on a street corner, her eyes closed, muttering to herself. I hesitated, then approached her. Excuse me, I said, do you remember me? We met in the park. She opened her eyes, her gaze piercing. I remember you, she said. You're the one haunted by the shadow, the one clinging to you, the one nobody else can see. My heart skipped a beat. You can see him, she nodded slowly. He's not gone, you know. He's still here, and he's getting stronger. What is he? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He's a reflection of your own darkness, she said. A reminder of what you tried to bury, and he won't rest until he's consumed you completely. Before I could ask her anything else, she turned and walked away, disappearing into the crowd. I stood there frozen, my blood running cold, the shadow, my darkness, the lake. Suddenly, I felt a presence behind me, a familiar, chilling presence. Hello, Liam, a voice whispered in my ear. Did you miss me? I turned around slowly, bracing myself for the worst. But there was nobody there, just the empty street, the bustling city, and the growing sense of dread that was consuming me. Then I saw him, across the street, standing in the shadows of an alleyway. He was talking to someone I couldn't see, but whoever it was, they could see Parry. They were laughing, their heads close together like old friends. Parry looked up, his eyes meeting mine. He smiled, a slow, predatory smile that sent a shiver down my spine. Then he turned and walked away with the other person, disappearing into the darkness. I stood there, paralyzed, realizing the horrifying truth: it wasn't over. It was just beginning, and I was no longer the only one who could see him. The shadow was spreading, and I had no idea how to stop it.